welcome to the Miami Heat Zone podcast. I'm your host, Martel Llewellyn. Guys, we're pushing up 4,000 subscribers. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, and thank you for all the support. So today we have Amir from the team to beat Miami Heat. Make sure you guys go to his channel, hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment. Make sure that you guys go over there and support his channel. So Amir, with everything going on with the Jimmy Butler extension and the Donovan Mitchell re-signing or not, we also have to worry about the Miami Heat and Caleb Martin, who he's been a pretty high level role player for the Miami Heat, and he might walk out the door for nothing because there's a lot of teams that can use his defense, his versatility, and just his passion and fire, especially coming off the bench as a sixth man. Even so, when you look at Haywood Heisman, same thing. He's another guy that he's improved drastically. His 3-point shot has been great. He's a great 3-and-D type player. Two guys that the Miami Heat have pretty much, built up from the ground up. So with them probably going out the door, which you can't blame them, they're going to make some great money out there, and the Miami Heat will pretty much be missing two wings right off their roster. So when you look across the NBA, and especially with us having a very high paying team with Tyler, Jimmy, Bam, Terry, Duncan, who are some of the free agents out there that we can really use to help uplift this Miami Heat roster?
Slim pickings, honestly, when we look at the existing free agent list out there. It's tough because we're losing with Caleb. We're losing like that Swiss Army knife, versatile, like Jimmy Butler-esque replacement player off the bench who can, put the ball on the floor. He's super athletic. He can finish at the rim. He's an acrobat when it comes to that. His 3-point shooting did improve a lot as well. But he was some guy who could score and defend the point of attack. I think his defense kind of went down a little bit last season compared to prior seasons, but still plus defender, and at times could be a 3-level scorer to a certain degree. So you're missing that offensively, I think, more so with Caleb. Haywood, you're missing more of the defense. His nickname was the locksmith for a reason. That guy, was the Jason Tatum stopper, I guess, kind of, right? I mean, stopped him to a certain degree. That guy would guard the best offensive players on the opposite team night in, night out, and he improved his 3-point shooting on low volume up to 40%. So it's going to be hard to replace both. So um, defensively, I don't see a lot of guys out there that can replace Haywood, but two guys that pop up in my mind, one of them might be overpriced, and we would maybe have to consider giving the mid-level exception. And not saying I want to go that route potentially, but um, Obi Toppin, 25 years old, traded from the Knicks to the Pacers, 6'9". He's 220 pounds, super athletic power forward. He only made like 4 or 5 million last season, so I don't know if his play warranted a raise, but that's a little over the veterans minimum, which we could probably technically afford around 3 million. Um, but either way, I think Obi Toppin could be a good fit next to Bam Adebayo because he can spread the floor. He shot 40% from three last season, which is obviously very good. He is a 35% career 3-point shooter, so he is capable of stretching the floor. He is highly athletic. This Miami Heat team is severely lacking athletes. Who are our two most athletic players? Bam Adebayo and Caleb Martin. So who's gone? Caleb Martin is 100% gone. Haywood, he wants to come back. There's a possible chance we can maybe negotiate that there's no state income tax in Florida, right? So if you get 10 million from somewhere else, we give you 7 or 8. Like that's pretty much the same. But he's still most likely gone too. But we have no athletes. Obi Toppin is a high flying athlete who could spread the floor and who could play in that dunker spot as well. And possibly back up Bam Adebayo or even start next to him. Who knows? Probably most likely would back him up. Um, he averaged, I think, 10 points per game last season as well, 4 rebounds, couple assists. So he would give us another player that could score off the bench. The other player I think I would add to this roster, who would be a veteran min, so we would be able to afford him, I believe, at like 3 million or so, would be the Los Angeles Lakers, Torian Prince. So Prince, I think he's like 6'7", 6'8" as well, or maybe a little bit smaller, but he played the stretch 4 position for the Lakers last season, so he was at the power forward spot. He is also a good 3-point shooter. He's a good 3-and-D type of player. He only averaged 9 points per game last season, 3 rebounds, round up to a steal, but he shot 39, almost 40% from 3 last season on 5 attempts. And he's a career 38% 3-point shooter. So I think if we want to replace Caleb and kind of go back to that small ball kind of basketball that Steve Kerr and Eric Spoelstra seem to love, then he would be a good replacement for a Haywood or a Caleb Martin, because I think, I don't know, I don't think he's 6'8". Correct me if I'm wrong. I think he's like more in that 6'5", 6'6" range, but he would definitely still be an undersized 4. But next to Bam Adebayo, what we need typically is someone that could shoot the 3, that spread the floor. Even though Bam has added that to his bag, he's only taking like a couple threes per game. As Bam extends and shoots, hopefully next season, I'm assuming he's going to double that and maybe shoot, 4, 5 threes per game. Having someone else that can stretch the floor next to him is going to be huge for Terry Rozier, whether it's a Tyler Hero or Jimmy Butler, to open up that paint for them. So I think with the slim pickings out there, Torian Prince probably is a more realistic option and more affordable option compared to Toppin. In our other video, you mentioned briefly at the end Jay Crowder. So he's getting older. He's 33, but he's someone we can afford. Again, he's probably better defensive player than both Obi and Prince. But he is that prototypical 3-and-D type player. He's 6'7", been in the Miami Heat's organization, helped us go to the finals in the bubble. So I agree with you also in that sentiment that we could bring him back for cheap.
Yeah, and the last guy that I also want to mention possibly too is Andre Drummond. I know he's closer to the end of his career, but great rebounder, and he brings that size. And the Miami Heat, even though he might not be able to play next to Bam, but at least he brings that size, that rebounding. That's what the Miami Heat need. I'm tired of kind of getting just out bullied by everybody because we can't compete with size. But thank you so much, Amir, for coming on the show. Make sure you guys go over to his channel, like, share, comment, subscribe. Make sure you guys get him to 2,000 subscribers, and we're out.
Thanks, Bartel.